Can you give us an outlook for the upcoming DLCs and feature in DCO?
That's a pretty big question. So we do have a new DLC coming out in a little while. DLC 8, Sons of Trigon. So that'll be coming out, and we've already talked about a new power that's coming along with it called Celestial. So it's a new healer power that's very action oriented. So it's more like almost like a battle mage power. So it's something we haven't done before. So that's very interesting. We've also talked about DLC 9 at a high level, which will be a new Lantern storyline. So kind of like War of the Light. We're initially calling it War of the Light Part 1 is DLC 9, and it introduces more Lantern cores like red and blue and Mogo and ranks. If you're familiar, for those that aren't, Mogo is a member of the Green Lantern Corps that's as big as the moon. And you'll actually travel to Mogo. And Ranks is about the same size, and he's a member of the Red Lantern Corps, which is a villainous corps. And you'll get to travel to Ranks as well. So that'll be really interesting for 9. We've talked about 10, which we're currently calling Halls of Power. And it will be focused on our new League Hall system that'll introduce League Halls, kind of like our player base system, but for leagues, big spaces, kind of like having your own Hall of Doom, or for your villainous group, or your own Watchtower for your League of Heroes, with a bunch of new systems that support league play and make leagues better and a lot more interesting than they are currently. So that's kind of the high level for at least our DLCs for the next several months. Well, we're going to do a lot. We've done several updates in the last 6 months that do focus on PvP. We will continue to focus all improvements in PvP to updates. Nevermore will we have DLC focused on PvP. But specifically, what things that we'll be doing to improve PvP, first and foremost, we'll be adding leaderboards. With the release of DC on PlayStation 4, we're actually developing a companion app for iOS and Android that will benefit all of our players. So those on PC, all of our ProSieben customers, you'll be able to get an app, and you'll be able to see leaderboards first there and later on in the game. So that's such a fundamental component of PvP, and we haven't had it. So that's the most important thing. And then beyond that, we'll be continuing to add new features, new Legends characters to Legends PvP, and a lot more.
Do you have any esports plans for DCO?
We do, and for those of you who haven't seen it, we've actually had a tournament the last 2 years at SOE Live where we had several $1,000 cash prize for the winners, and it's a very entertaining game. I think it's fun to watch because it's particularly Legends PvP, because you get to see Batman and Superman and Joker, all these really famous iconic characters, do some pretty amazing things, and there's tremendous amount of skill involved in our game. Our combat system is very skill driven, and watching the best players in the world do things is pretty amazing. It's very skill rewarding. So I think it lends itself to esports. We just need to finish things like leaderboards and some of those other things to make it really solid. But yes, there are plans for esports.
What will the next DLC be?
The one after Sons of Trigon. So the very next one is Sons of Trigon, which will be out in just a few weeks. The one after that we're currently calling War of the Light, and that will feature Lantern powers. So really more focus on red and blue Lantern cores, but the others, green and yellow, will be there as well. Those powers, wind would be the easiest because we pretty much wouldn't have to show much. The others, well, we'll just have to wait and see. We went a long time without introducing any new powers, in part because it's very difficult to fit new powers on the PlayStation 3. We're making changes in the next few months to try to free up a little bit more space. We've already said that we're going to be introducing a new power with 9. I can't say what that is yet, so I'll just have to be coy and tease a little bit, but we're still in the process of finalizing that power now. So once we know what it is, we should be ready to talk about it before too long. As far as weapons are concerned, we do have some ideas for improving weapons, but actually committing to some of the specifics, I can't yet. So again, I'm going to have to just tease and not be very revealing. Again, another benefit of the PlayStation 4 development is that we're actually making a completely new UI system. I think that was a weakness or it currently is a weakness in the game. So we'll be remaking all of our UIs. So as part of that, we'll be overhauling and just adding functionality improvements. But beyond that, I mentioned Halls of Power and our new League system that'll be coming out around that time, around the DLC 10 timeframe. Will make leagues and league management just better, more fun, much stickier than it currently is. So there's going to be a lot of improvements and a lot of developments in the next few months on that front. Well, we always try to listen to the community, and we play the game ourselves. So it really depends on community feedback, because it's not like there's a consensus that no, it was better before. I think it's something that we just have to kind of ponder and just continue to get feedback. And we do engage our community council. A lot of the developers at SOE Austin are active on the forums and try to engage our players and ask them for specific feedback. So we'll be on the lookout for that. I can't say that we'll necessarily change back, but if enough people do chime in and say they liked it the old way, let us know. Well, what brought me to the game is being a lifelong comic book fan. I collected comics when I was a kid. I still probably have 5,000 comics at home, so I know comics really well. And the game itself was the type of game that I enjoy playing. I'm mostly a console gamer personally, so it being on PlayStation and PC was great.